Sumerian tablets are probably one of the oldest form of a written record that we have. They've been translated, and they tell exciting stories about how gods intermingled with human beings and actually had a hand in the creation of human beings.
What if an ancient Sumerian tablet described a disaster so terrifying that an entire population abandoned the surface and disappeared underground? According to a controversial translation of a clay tablet reportedly discovered among forgotten artifacts from ancient Lagash, nearly 90,000 people were evacuated beneath the earth to escape a mysterious threat descending from above. Whether the account records a real event, a mythological warning, or something in between, the story raises fascinating questions about one of history's most puzzling mysteries. Join us as we explore the tablet and the chilling story it appears to tell. The tablet that shouldn't have existed. The story begins in 2021, when a restoration team working in the basement storage area of the Iraq Museum reportedly opened a forgotten crate labeled from the 1968 excavation season at Tel al-Hiba, the site of ancient Lagash. The crate had survived decades of political turmoil, wars, looting, and even flooding. Inside were 11 clay tablets. 10 of them turned out to be ordinary administrative records. They documented grain supplies, labor assignments, and temple inventories. But the 11th tablet was different. Unlike the others, it was larger, thicker, and covered in dense cuneiform writing arranged in multiple columns. After conservators carefully cleaned away layers of salt and debris, researchers reportedly discovered that this was not an accounting record at all. It was a narrative. According to the translation, the tablet described a massive evacuation involving tens of thousands of people. The text used terminology associated with relocation and listed a population figure equivalent to roughly 90,000 individuals. That number alone was remarkable. Ancient records often document military campaigns, trade, and religious ceremonies, but descriptions of an organized relocation on this scale are extremely rare. Yet according to the tablet, that is exactly what happened. The translation claims that the people of Lagash received advance warning of a coming disaster. The warning was serious enough that leaders began organizing a carefully planned evacuation beneath the earth. The tablet describes an operation that unfolded in multiple phases. First came a census. Every family was counted and assigned to a specific group. Then supplies were gathered and transported underground. Grain, water, livestock, seeds, oil, and tools were stockpiled in preparation for a long stay below the surface. The scale of the preparation suggests that this was not a temporary shelter plan. It appears to have been designed for survival over an extended period. Finally, enormous stone doors were sealed from the inside. According to the story, 17 separate entrances across the region were closed at nearly the same time. The text emphasizes that these entrances could not be opened from the outside. Whatever the people feared, they clearly believed that remaining on the surface was far more dangerous than sealing themselves underground. The obvious question is why? What could possibly force an entire population underground? The answer appears in the tablet's second column, where the narrative takes a far darker turn. The Great Affliction from Above. According to the translation, the disaster was known as the Great Affliction descending from above. The wording is unusual because the text does not describe a flood, earthquake, drought, or storm. Instead, the affliction is portrayed as something alive. The tablet allegedly describes it moving across the land in waves. It did not march or walk. Instead, it hovered. Wherever it approached, panic followed. Animals fled before it arrived. Entire communities evacuated in advance of its path. The text repeatedly emphasizes that cities were not destroyed through warfare or natural disaster. Instead, people abandoned them. Perhaps the most disturbing descriptions involve what happened to those who remained behind. According to the story, victims died without visible injuries. Buildings remained standing. Structures were not burned, yet people suddenly collapsed and never recovered. The scribe struggled to describe the phenomenon using the language available at the time. According to the translation, It seemed as though life itself had been removed from the body. Whether interpreted literally or symbolically, the descriptions are unsettling. The tablet claims that the mysterious affliction generated a powerful roaring sound that could be heard over great distances. Animals panicked. Entire populations fled. For days, those hiding underground reportedly listened as the strange phenomenon passed across the surface. Then everything became silent. But according to the story, the danger had not disappeared. Observers watching through ventilation shafts noticed something disturbing. The light itself had changed. The tablet describes a brightness that seemed wrong somehow. It was not darkness. It was not an eclipse. Instead, the environment itself appeared altered. The sky looked different. The air seemed different. The world above no longer resembled the one that had existed before. As a result, the leaders of the underground shelters refused to reopen the entrances. Instead, they waited. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. And eventually, curiosity overcame fear. A small group volunteered to investigate the surface. What they discovered would shape the future of the entire population. The deadly world above. According to the tablet, after approximately 3 months underground, a group of 7 trained observers was selected to return to the surface. Their mission was simple: determine whether it was safe to come back. The descriptions that follow are among the most memorable parts of the story. The world they encountered looked familiar, yet profoundly changed. Fields were covered in a strange dust, trees stood lifeless, birds had disappeared, insects were nowhere to be found. The rivers reportedly looked different, and an eerie silence hung across the landscape. Yet the environment itself was not what frightened the explorers most. Within hours of exposure, several members of the group became seriously ill. The tablet describes symptoms including burning skin, vomiting, weakness, confusion, and eventual death. The survivors carried the sick men back underground and sealed the entrance once again. 2 of them reportedly died within days. A third survived, but lost his eyesight. Additional attempts to return to the surface produced similar results. Each expedition ended with illness and death. Eventually, according to the tablet, the population concluded that the surface itself had become dangerous. Modern readers have proposed countless theories. Some suggest the tablet describes an unknown natural disaster. Others believe it reflects a mythological interpretation of disease or environmental collapse. The tablet presents a scenario unlike most ancient legends. It combines detailed logistics, population counts, survival planning, and eyewitness-style descriptions into a single narrative. Rather than focusing on gods and heroes, it focuses on ordinary people trying to survive an extraordinary crisis. The mystery that refuses to disappear. One of the most fascinating aspects of the story is not the alleged disaster itself, but the unanswered questions it leaves behind. If the evacuation really happened, who warned the people of Lagash? Why was the underground infrastructure already in place? How did such a large population survive below the surface for so long? And perhaps most importantly, what exactly was the Great Affliction? The tablet never provides a clear answer. Instead, it records events with a level of detail that continues to intrigue those who study the story. Whether viewed as mythology, history, symbolism, or speculation, the narrative challenges readers to consider possibilities that remain difficult to explain. More than 4,000 years after the events it supposedly describes, the questions remain unanswered. And perhaps that uncertainty is exactly why the mystery continues to endure. Stories like this often survive because they leave room for interpretation. Every generation examines the evidence through its own lens, bringing new theories and new questions. Whether the tablet describes an actual event, a symbolic warning, or an ancient misunderstanding, it continues to spark curiosity and encourage people to explore the mysteries of the distant past. What do you think really happened in ancient Lagash? Was the tablet recording a real disaster, a symbolic warning, or an elaborate legend passed down through generations? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more ancient mysteries and forgotten history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.